as a boy. The strangers on the other side were the thieves of all their joy. How they crept one starless winter, salted every orchard root, left them to the famine where their village gathered fruit. And he knew it like a psalm he'd learned, memorized to retell. Every name of every villain, he would avenge his people well. Only villains wish us harm, he said as people gathered around. He said they did this because they hate us. Fear and anger weighed them down. I can name each wound they gave us, every scar and every theft. So the woman took the children while the men set off to handle the morally bereft. They had sharpened all their children on the tale of who'd been wronged. We were righteous, they were heathens, was taught and passed down like a song. They carved it into stone till they were bleeding, another wound to pile on. Never looking in the mirror, no reflection in the stream. No one ever traced the footprints back beyond the blame they'd seen. Where grandfathers had war to never go. For the heathens who lived there were men without a soul. But the boy was now a man with a fight to take to his mortal enemy. Like a gallant hero in the night, as they traveled they grew angrier. They all had better things to do. They'd come to claim the truth they knew, because they were running out of just before sundown, not ready for what they'd intrude. They had sharpened all their children on the tale of who'd been wronged. We were righteous, they were heathens, was taught and passed down like a song. They carved it into stone till they were bleeding, another wound to pile on. Never looking in the mirror, no reflection in the street. No one ever traced the footprints back beyond the blame they'd seen. They soon arrived just before sundown, but no one was around till they found them at a graveyard at the edge of the town. The women were weeping with their little ones all around. He said, a coward would hide. A young man walked up to him and said, they were killed by the other side. He told the story he'd been handed, how the heathens ruined all their lives. He said they flooded half the village, they sent a big mudslide. They just swept away our fathers. What kind of heathens take a life? Had the men not been fishing, they would all still be alive. They had sharpened all their children on the tale of who'd been wrong. We were righteous, they were heathens, was taught and passed down like a song. They carved it into stone till they were bleeding, another wound to pile on. Never looking in the mirror, no reflection in the stream. No one ever traced the footprints back beyond the blame they'd seen. The man said that couldn't be. You salted all our trees. We had to start again. Now our people are starving. Soon everyone was shouting about who was more to blame. The oldest woman on the far bank said the thing no one had foreseen. No one salted anything, child. The frost takes every tree, but no one should go hungry. So the woman gathered grain and seed for the first time in their lives. The story didn't fit the scene. By the time the men had left, no one spoke of blame. A few men Some stayed behind to help rebuild the homes the rain had claimed. They had sharpened all their children on the tale of who'd been wronged. We were righteous, they were heathens, was taught and passed down like a song. But hunger doesn't choose a village, and winter doesn't care who's right. The river never picked a side, it only followed the rain that night. And the stories we inherit can outlive every wound they're from, till we spend our lives fighting shadows long after the war is gone. A man stood by the water, watching evening settle in, and for the first time saw a stranger who looked a lot like him. Same calluses, same worry lines, same children needing to be fed. The only thing that stood between them was a story handed down instead. The river moved in silence, as rivers always do, carrying bits of every village and belonging to neither of the two. The old woman laughed softly. Most monsters disappear the moment someone bothers to come and see them clear.